Welcome back. This is World News Today with me, Michelle Hussein. Now, Western economies have been used to some time to no longer being the manufacturing centres of the world. It seems they're also no longer the top creative centres, because if you have a look at where patents for new innovations are being filed these days, for instance, you'll see that Asia is in the lead. Japan, Korea and Taiwan are all at the top of the table. Meanwhile, growth in research and development technology has significantly reduced in the US and the UK. Part of the reason Asia is taking the lead may be down to investment, but also because manufacturing costs there have been cut. Well, with me now is Dr. Harold Ravachey, who's the president of the Stevens Institute of Technology, which is a high-tech university based on the East Coast of the United States. Welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Now, why do you think we have this gap where innovation is really taking place today in Asia rather than elsewhere in the world?
Well, from my travels in Asia, which are fairly extensive, it is a sense of competition in Asia. They are very aware of competing with one another, Japan and Korea and Singapore, Taiwan. So they every day know that they have to try to be better than the next guy. So that's a mindset in each of these countries, whereas in the United States and perhaps also the United Kingdom, we feel that we had a more senior position, a higher position, and we're not as keenly aware of the importance of innovation and competing.
Do you think that is just a sign of the times? Because over a period of time, now Western economies have got quite used to the fact that manufacturing these days is often outsourced to
no,
China,
I think there are fundamentals. Okay, so let's look at some. You mentioned patents. The U.S. is now fourth behind Taiwan. Japan, Korea, Taiwan, then the U.S., and then Britain's down below that. Okay, if you look at the number of patents coming out of universities, also patents per resident, that has leveled off for the past decade. Right? So now if you look at the number of independent public offerings coming out of the United States, much higher in Japan. You look at the effects of Sarbanes-Oxley, the effects of banks and regulatory agencies are all putting a chill on risk-taking, all putting a chill on early investment with patience.
But again, we're in a very difficult economic climate at the moment. I mean, perhaps once there's a rebound in economic growth, some of that confidence, some of that innovative spirit might return.
But that's the very time when you have to be innovative. Unemployment in the U.S. is rising. If we want to compete, if we want to offset that trend, now is the time to make investments. Now, manufacturing is not just a question of price of labor. It's very important to spend a moment on this. Okay, when you look at the Singapore, Korea, Taiwan, and Japan, they have a policy to keep a certain percentage of the GDP in manufacturing at home. They do not manufacture commodity products, value added, and they still trade well with China.
Yeah.
In the U.S., we've offshored.
Well, when you're talking about innovation and raising these kinds of concerns, are you talking about innovation across the board? Are you talking about everything from high-tech gadgets to pharmaceuticals to...
We have examples where if you take a product made in the U.S. and take a product made in China, rather than outsource it to China, if you passionately follow innovation in every single step of the manufacturing business, you could actually compete better in U.S. than in China.
But your product would still be manufactured in China, wouldn't it?
No. It would be manufactured in the U.S. and it'd be a lower cost. No, that's the point of innovation. That's the point, you see, that through innovation, you still pay the higher wage, but the cost of the product at the end, because there are many parts of manufacturing separate from the cost of hourly cost of the worker.
Okay. Just finally, I mean, do you think that emphasis on innovation there should come from governments, or do you think it is something that, because in this country the emphasis would really be in the private sector?
It has to come from both the private sector and the government from the very top and be a mindset. It can't be a program. It has to be a national agenda, a national purpose.
Okay. Not easy to do overnight.
But we must start now.
Okay. Professor Ravachey, thanks very much for being with us and for exploring that particular issue, innovation across the world.